In this video, you'll get a quick overview of Vibrant Cellular Zoomer. I'll walk through each section of the test, highlighting key features. Then I'll explain the technology used and briefly discuss the collection instructions. I'll also suggest synergistic tests and end by highlighting the Vibrant Advantage and where to go for additional information. Cellular Zoomer is a comprehensive urine test that maps how cells produce energy, manage stress, and sustain metabolic balance. It unites advanced organic acids and oxidative damage markers in a single, clear view, helping you design more precise strategies for resilience, vitality, and long-term wellness. Before we dive into the actual report, I want to remind you that you get to choose how much information to include in the report you download for yourself or the report you share with your patients. You have 3 options: summary, interpretation, and all markers. I'll be going over the report that includes all 3 options combined, as it is the most comprehensive. Let's start with a quick overview. The Cellular Zoomer report includes a cover page, an index, introduction, and a summary of all the panels. Then, you get a full report for each panel included in the Cellular Zoomer. Each full report includes an introduction specific to the panel, a summary with panel-specific marker interpretation, including flowcharts and infographics, and then ends with a list of all the markers for that panel. Let's dive in. The cover page identifies a sample type and includes the results interpretation key. The index lists the 3 sections of the report: the Cellular Zoomer summary, oxidative stress, and organic acids. The introduction page is where you can find the methodology and interpretation of report, and I highly recommend reading this page, especially if you want to learn about the methodologies used or how reference ranges were established. The Cellular Zoomer summary shows the elevated and moderately elevated results for both panels combined, including organic acids and oxidative stress markers. The results are reported as both a number and plotted graphically so you can visually see how high or low your patient's results are. When you order a repeat Cellular Zoomer on the same patient, current results are indicated by a dark blue pin, and previous results are indicated by a light blue pin. In this example, the patient's level of 2-oxoisovaleric acid decreased from 3.0 to 2.06. After the Cellular Zoomer summary, then we get the results for each of the panels, starting with the Oxidative Stress panel. The Oxidative Stress panel begins with an introduction page where you can find the methodology and interpretation of report, and again, I highly recommend reading this page. The next page of the Oxidative Stress panel summarizes the out-of-range markers in this helpful infographic, showing the impact of oxidative stress on nuclear DNA, transcriptional RNA, translational proteins, as well as lipids found in the phospholipid bilayer. The oxidative stress panel measures 16 oxidative stress biomarkers, including markers of lipid peroxidation like F2 isoprostanes, markers of DNA damage like 8-OHDG, markers of RNA damage, protein oxidation products, and advanced glycation end products. When these biomarkers are being eliminated in the urine, it indicates real-time oxidative damage. If you want to learn more about markers that are outside of the reference range, you can scroll back to the summary and read the interpretive comment. In addition to real-time markers of oxidative damage, the oxidative stress panel also includes an oxidative damage score. The x-axis is your age, and the y-axis is your oxidative damage score. The score is calculated from the results of all oxidative stress markers tested, applied to a linear regression model, and displayed with respect to your age group. A score in green represents a normal score based on the 50th percentile of the population, indicating you're aging at or slower than your chronological age. A score in the yellow represents a moderate score, falling between the 50th and 90th percentile. And a score in the red represents accelerated cellular aging compared to the relatively healthy reference population. In this example, the patient is currently 43 years old but has an oxidative stress score between the 50th and 90th percentile, correlated with an oxidative damage score of someone who's nearly 55 years old. When you order a repeat Cellular Zoomer on the same patient, the results display patient progress. As before, current results are indicated by a dark blue pin, and previous results are indicated by a light blue pin. In this example, the patient made significant changes to their diet and lifestyle to lower their oxidative damage score from 54.78 to 43.74 over the course of 1 year. This example illustrates how the Oxidative Stress panel from the Cellular Zoomer can help guide providers and motivate patients to make diet and lifestyle changes to lower their oxidative stress and slow aging. Finally, the Oxidative Stress panel includes personalized supplement suggestions to help balance oxidative stress load. For example, selenium supplements reduce MDA levels by enhancing the activity of antioxidant enzymes, particularly glutathione peroxidase, which helps neutralize free radicals and prevent lipid peroxidation. Selenium supplements decrease 8-hydroxyguanine by supporting the activity of selenoproteins such as glutathione peroxidase, which reduce oxidative stress and limit DNA damage, including formation of 8-hydroxyguanine. Note, the lab uses a weighted ranking approach for supplement suggestions. The ranking considers both how often a supplement is recommended and its evidence-based rating. This means higher-rated supplements will appear at the top, ensuring those with a 5-star rating come first, followed by 4-star, 3-star, and so on. This weighted ranking system for supplement suggestions provides helpful evidence-based suggestions for healthcare providers and patients to make informed choices. After the Oxidative Stress panel comes the Organic Acids panel. The Organic Acids panel begins with an introduction page where you can find the methodology and interpretation of report. The Organic Acid summary appears next and shows the elevated and moderately elevated results for each section of the test, along with comments for each out-of-range marker. The summary also includes 2 pages of flowcharts. The first page shows the axon terminal. An axon terminal is a small bulb-like ending of a nerve cell that sends messages to the next cell. When an electrical signal reaches it, the terminal releases neurotransmitters that carry the signal across the tiny gap to communicate with another nerve, muscle, or gland. The upper half of the page shows tryptophan metabolites and ratios. For example, tryptophan can be converted into 5-HTP and serotonin. Serotonin is known as the happy hormone because it's a neurotransmitter that regulates mood, promoting feelings of well-being, focus, and emotional stability. Meanwhile, low levels are linked to depression. Tryptophan can also go down the kynurenine pathway and be converted into kynurenic acid or quinolinic acid. Note, if kynurenic acid is low but other kynurenine metabolites are high, assess factors that may be upregulating the kynurenine pathway, such as inflammation, cortisol, stress, and infections, including gut infections and dysbiosis. The lower half shows the catecholamine metabolites and ratios flowchart, specifically how the amino acid tyrosine serves as a precursor to the catecholamine neurotransmitters dopamine, HVA, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. These catecholamine neurotransmitters play a crucial role in the body's stress response, i.e., fight or flight, regulating cardiovascular function, metabolism, GI motility, and mood. This matters because burnout, low drive, and brain fog often reflect altered dopamine turnover, not true deficiency. The next page shows the Krebs cycle, aka the citric acid cycle, also known as the TCA cycle. This is a great tool for identifying nutrient deficiencies or heavy metal toxicities blocking the flow in your metabolism. For example, when patients have elevated levels of citric acid and low levels of cis-aconitic acid, we might suspect mercury, fluoride, arsenic, or antimony toxicity. This is because those 4 elements block conversion of citric acid into cis-aconitic acid. The Organic Acids panel ends with the levels of all markers, including amino acid metabolites like 2-oxoisovaleric acid, detoxification and oxidative stress markers like pyroglutamic acid, which provides insight on glutathione status, metabolism and mitochondrial function like lactic acid and pyruvic acid, microbial metabolites like DHPPA, neurotransmitters and stress hormones like HVA and VMA, and nutrition and oxalates markers like methylmalonic acid, which provides insight on vitamin B12 status. Now let's talk about methodology. Vibrant Cellular Zoomer utilizes gas chromatography tandem mass spectrometry, GCMS-MS, for quantitative detection of organic acids in urine samples. It also uses liquid chromatography tandem mass spectrometry, LCMS-MS, for quantitative detection of catecholamine metabolites, serotonin and kynurenine metabolites, and oxidative stress damage markers. These are powerful analytical techniques that combine the separating power of gas or liquid chromatography with the highly sensitive and selective mass analysis capability of triple-quadrupole mass spectrometry. Note, urine creatinine is measured using a kinetic calorimetric assay based on the Jaffe method. All organic acids and oxidative stress damage markers are reported as quantitative results corrected to urine creatinine to account for urine dilution variations. Finally, let's review the collection instructions and key preparation considerations for cellular Zoomer testing. Vibrant Cellular Zoomer test is an easy at-home test. Patients simply collect one urine tube. A detailed video of how to collect the urine sample is linked in the video description, which can be shared with patients who require a full walkthrough. As for timing and pre-test conditions, patients should collect their first morning urine upon waking. Patients should avoid collecting the sample if they have active bleeding or are currently menstruating. Fasting is recommended, and the collection instructions say to not eat or drink for at least 8 hours before collection. For optimal and clinically relevant results, patients should maintain their routine diet, medications, and supplements unless specifically instructed otherwise by their healthcare provider. As with all testing, patients should consult with their healthcare provider before making any lifestyle changes, including changes to prescribed medications, dietary restrictions, or supplements. Before I share synergistic tests, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Sydney Baker's TAC rules. Rule number 1. If you're sitting on a TAC, it takes a lot of aspirin to make the pain go away. In other words, it's difficult to heal if you don't identify the root cause of your symptoms. Rule number 2. If you're sitting on 2 TACs, removing one does not necessarily result in a 50% improvement in symptoms. In other words, sometimes there's more than one root cause contributing to your symptoms. So in addition to Vibrant Cellular Zoomer, also consider the Gut Zoomer, which adds GI context to cellular strain, helping connect dysbiosis barrier stress and inflammatory tone to energy dips, cravings, brain fog, and neurochemical volatility. Also the Hormone Zoomer, which brings endocrine timing into the story. Adding Hormone Zoomer helps clarify when cellular output tracks with cortisol rhythm, sex hormone metabolism, sleep disruption, or stress load rather than pure mitochondrial limitation. Additionally, consider the Toxin Zoomer, which anchors oxidative load to exposure pressure, helping determine when glutathione demand, redox imbalance, and poor recovery reflect ongoing toxic burden. And finally, the Nutrient Zoomer, which checks the biochemical inputs and shows whether cofactor availability and utilization are supporting or constraining mitochondrial throughput, detox capacity, and neurotransmitter balance. In summary, Vibrant Cellular Zoomer reveals how well cells produce energy, manage oxidative pressure, and recover from daily demand. The Vibrant advantage is that it integrates metabolic chemistry, oxidative damage, and detox capacity to expose functional cellular stress that routine labs never capture. This enables clear insight into persistent fatigue, brain fog, and slow recovery, and better prioritization when multiple systems appear involved, including more confident sequencing of mitochondrial, redox, detox, or nutrient support, and stronger patient conversations grounded in measurable cellular biology. To learn more, visit the links in the video description. If you have questions, please ask them in the comments below this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a vibrant day.